Told him that I gotta go, dawg. I'm riding on road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all. Got hits when he throwing the fastball. Just too quick for it. Peeling off like the whip.
This camera is not perfect. It overheats, it's a little heavy, but with the 24-60 2.8, LUTs baked in, open gate, and the ridiculous IBIS settings it built in, this thing is getting harder and harder to put down. So I had to ask myself, is Lumix finally part of the big three? Hey, what's up y'all, my name is Stanley and I just traded in my FX3 for a Lumix S1RII. Now before you scroll away, just know that I still film on my Red, I still take photos on my Canon R5 Mark II, and I still daily a Fujifilm X100VI, so this wasn't a decision made lightly. There were some features that really helped me in a practical sense. Stick around, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Let's jump right into it. The first feature I want to talk about saved me a bunch of time, I would say hours, and that's going to be real-time LUTs. Lumix lets me upload a LUT into the camera, and I can use it as a monitor LUT, or I can actually bake that color in, and just what I see is what I get. With the current pressure to turn things around quickly for clients or for brands, color grading has seriously just become somewhat of a luxury for me. I was talking to two of my friends a little while ago and they were telling me about how they recently switched to just filming in standard profile for things like real estate or event coverage, and I got it because you're making a 30 to 60 second video and that thing's probably gonna live in someone's head for less than that. So do you really want to sit there and color grade every single clip? Because I don't know about you, but when I do things like event coverage, I overshoot and then I gotta go through those things and then color grade every single one of those clips, some clips that you're using for like half a second. And so if I wanted to take the money I earned and make it worth more, I had to give something up. There is something about the way that Lumix just places the LUT into the pipeline where it just looks fantastic. You know what? I'll actually let you figure out whether or not I filmed this with a real-time LUT or not. Now, when it comes to color, I don't want to fight my footage. I would prefer to have some sort of a log profile that helps me get the best image I can with the least amount of effort possible. The first time I tried Vlog and just editing the footage, it was one of the most pleasant experiences I've ever had. And if I had to describe it one way, I would say it's like having Canon colors with all the other features this camera comes with. It's pretty awesome. I feel like Lumix's color is not very clinical. It's just the skins look natural, greens look cinematic, blues look good. Everything just looks as close to natural, but I would call it natural plus. It looks like everything I love. And now with the official support of RE log LUTs, we're not even just talking about good color anymore. Now we're just talking about cinema DNA. This next feature is something I have slept on for a very long time, and that is going to be open gate. Open gate is being able to shoot with your full sensor and not just the crop 16:9 that we've all gotten used to filming with. And in my world, that means one take. I can crop it for Instagram, I can crop it for YouTube, I can crop it for whatever I want, and I don't have to mess with having to reframe anything or make it fit in my frame, give anyone a little bit of extra headspace, none of that. It is a huge time saver if you are a hybrid content creator. And I looked into the different brands. I believe Fujifilm does give it to you on one of their cameras. It is a paid upgrade, I believe. Comment down below if I'm wrong. Canon doesn't seem to offer it at all. Sony has it in cameras that are way more than I ever want to pay for a camera. It's not something that seems to be pretty common, let alone free. And I've gotten to the point of arguing it may not even be a feature at this point, but a workflow changer, especially if you're creating for multiple formats or platforms. Like I said before, this camera is not perfect. The whole overheating thing that everyone's talking about with this camera is a very real thing. I live in Texas where it's super hot, and I think the last time I tried to film outside, it was like 100 degrees, 100% humidity. I got a good like 10-12 minutes out of this camera before it overheated. Here's the thing, a camera is a tool just like a hammer, and you've got to know which tool you need for the scenario you're going to be in. So I listed off all the cameras I had before. I have a bunch of tools for all the different type of scenarios that I film in. If I had to pick one feature to be okay with though, this overheating is not going to be a problem for me because a majority of the time when I do use it, I am using it indoors, and I have even shot the whole car thing in the beginning with it and it didn't overheat at all. It was hot, but I was shaded, and it's a compromise that I'm willing to make because of everything else I've listed off before this. Now just some bonus practical things I want to talk about that helped me switch. The number one being that this camera lives within the L mount alliance. Now almost every lens I used for my FX3 was Sigma branded, and so they were my favorite lenses. In my opinion, the sharpest. They were good all around and light. I get access to every single one of those lenses for my Lumix cameras as well. I thought I was going to get a Sigma 24-70, but Lumix did come out with that 24-60 2.8, which is small and light. It's just nice to know that you have access to everything in the L mount. And one final like bonus pro that I found by accident, I realized as I was filming this that I forgot to put my CFX express card in, and I'm shooting 6K OpenGate on this camera straight to an SD card, and it's still going. It's recorded this entire episode so far and everything going after, so it's pretty cool to know that I can shoot an entire episode on an SD card and don't necessarily need to go out to buy a CF Express card if I don't want to, especially because we know it's kind of part of the problem with the whole heating thing. Now, who's this camera for? If you're looking for something that you don't have to wonder will overheat on you or anything like that, you can't take risks and you shoot like super long 2-3 hour podcast episodes, this camera may or may not be for you. I don't know. But if you're a hybrid shooter like me and you just want the best image out of box with little to no effort, you want good autofocus performance, you want to be able to shoot multiple platforms at once and just have an efficient workflow for this crazy social media world we live in, these cameras are fantastic in my opinion. I still shoot my Canon, I still use my Red, but if I was walking out the door to go on a trip and I just wanted to pick a camera that was gonna allow me to take my memory card, pop it into my iPad, and get a video on my Instagram story within minutes, because I love using my camera for my stories, there really is nothing that could beat this camera for me right now. And the truth is, if a camera company made a better camera tomorrow, we should all be trying to get the best tool we can get to allow our lives to be easier and to make the most money we can. And right now, for me, this is that camera. If you have any questions or comments, just feel free to leave them down below. If you haven't liked or subscribed, don't forget to do so. This will not be the last video I make about the Lumix system in general. Funny enough, they made a variable aperture lens that I ended up falling in love with, so stick around for that video. And yeah, I look forward to seeing y'all soon. I hope you have a great day. Peace.